Hello students, class 12th, chapter number 5, continuity and differentiability, solution of test we are going to discuss today. So here is your test in which 4 questions were given to you, as you can see here. So we'll discuss all the questions one by one. Let us go to the first question. Here comes the first question in which you have to tell the value for k for which the function is continuous at x equals 3. Function is given as x plus 3 whole square minus 36 divided by x minus cube when x is not equal to 3, and when it is equal to 3, that means it is k. So we can write f of 3 as k. Now if it is continuous, right, then LHN and RHL should be equal. Let us find out. First of all, solve it when it is not equal to 3. So I am putting limit x tending to 3, the function is x plus 3 whole square minus 36 divided by x minus 3. I can write 36 as 6 square. So this expression will become limit x tending to 3, x plus 3 whole square minus 6 square divided by x minus 3. Now as you can see, here we have a square minus b square. Using the identity of a square minus b square, which is a plus b and a minus b, the expression becomes limit x tending to 3. We will write a, which is x plus 3, plus b plus 6, a minus b divided by x minus 3. Solving it, we get limit x tending to 3, x plus 9 from the first one, and in the second one we will be left with x minus 3. In the denominator also we have x minus 3. We can cancel x minus 3 with x minus 3. We are just left with x plus 9. Hence it is a polynomial, right? That means when we solve this expression, we are getting a polynomial x plus 9, and a polynomial function is always continuous. So we can directly put in the limit here. We will get 3 plus 9, which is 12. Hence it will be equal to k because it is continuous. So value for k will be 12 here. So this was question number 1, first part. So those who have not done it in the test, they can redo it and do the correction. Now let us go to the second part of the question. First question had 2 parts. The second part is you have to tell or you have to show that the function cos of x square is a continuous function. So I told you, whenever you see function inside the function, that means it is a composition of 2 functions. So we'll assume one function as g of x, let it be cos x, and we'll consider h of x as x square. Let us try to find the composition. If we find a g of h of x, just look here, g of h of x will be g into h of x is x square. So wherever in g x is there, so we write cos x. If it will be x square, it will become cos of x square. So this is the function. So we see this cos of x square is composition of 2 functions. Also we know cos x is a continuous function everywhere for all the real values of x. X square, being a polynomial function, is continuous. If 2 functions are continuous, their composition is also a continuous function. This is what you should write in the explanation of it. Fine. Now we will move to question number 2. Here is question number 2, in which x to the power y plus y to the power x. As you can observe, variable to the power variable is there, so definitely log is to be used here, and is equal to a to the power b. We have to find dy by dx. So let us consider x to the power y as u, y to the power x as v, right, and a to the power b as it is. So we actually have u plus v equals a to the power b. If we differentiate both the sides with respect to x, we get du by dx plus dv by dx equals 0. A to the power b is a constant, hence differentiation will be 0. Now you will solve u separately. U is x to the power y. Take log on both the sides. We get log of u equals y log of x. Now you can just use product rule here. Differentiating both the side with respect to x, we get 1 upon u du by dx equals, see y as it is, differentiation of log x is 1 upon x, plus log x as it is, differentiation of y is dy by dx. We'll multiply both the side of the equation with u. We get du by dx equals y divided by x, multiply it with u, which is x to the power y, plus log of x dy by dx. We're going to multiply it with x to the power y. You can just simply solve this expression to write it as x to the power y minus 1. Clear? And from here we got the value of du by dx. Let me put it as first equation. You have to just place in this right expression. Now v is equal to y to the power x. You see we have to solve in the same way. So I'm solving it by taking log on both the sides. So when we take log on both the sides, you will get log of v equals x log of y. Differentiating both the sides with respect to x, we get 1 by v dy by dx dv by dx equals x as it is, differentiation of log y is 1 upon y, and of y it will be dy by dx, plus log y as it is, differentiation of x is 1. Now multiply both the side of the equation or each term of the equation with v. We get x upon y into y to the power x dy by dx plus y to the power x log y. So this will be our second equation. We've got dv by dx and du by dx. We just have to put here and equal to 0. So when you put them, just combine the equations and then you have to write the value of dy by dx. So you have dy by dx term here as well as here. You're going to combine these two terms and the other two terms separately. And you can just separate all the terms from dy by dx. You're going to get your answer. Clear? Let us move to the third question now. In this question there were two parts. See the first one, value of c in mean value theorem. As mean value theorem is written, we are going to use Lagrange's mean value theorem for the function f of x, x into x minus 2, where x belongs to 1, 2 in the closed interval. So here a is, I'm solving the first part, a is 1, b is 2. So you know it is a polynomial function, x into x minus 2. So it will be continuous, it will be differentiable obviously. So you can just write it as continuous and differentiability. Differentiable. Also it is differentiable. Right. So if these two conditions are satisfied, we can solve it as f dash c equals f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. Let us find out f dash x. The function is x square minus, let me write it first the function. It is x square minus 2x. When we differentiate it, we get 2x minus. So f dash c will be 2c minus 2. Now let us find out f of a. That means f of 1. Put here 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Let us find out f of 2, which is f of b. So it will be 2 square minus 2 into 2. It will be 0. Okay. This let us solve it again. Just to see carefully. We have x square minus 2x. So it will be 1 minus 2. So the answer is minus 1, not 0. Clear? So you got f of a, f of b. We have got f dash c. Let us put it here. F dash c is 2c minus 2. F of b, you know, f of 2, it is 0, minus f of a, which is minus 1, divided by b minus a, that means 2 minus 1. So we actually have it is equal to 1. 2c minus 2 equals 1. 2c equals to 3. This implies c equals 3 by 2, which is 1.5, and it belongs to 1, 2. Right. Hence the value for c is 3 upon 2. Let us discuss the second part, in which I think some of you might have faced a problem in solving. The second part is the set of points where the function f given by f of x is differentiable. So first let us see whether it is continuous or not. It will definitely be continuous. You see sin x is there and a polynomial function is there. So definitely it is going to be continuous. So you can just write that in the explanation. Then we have to check for differentiability, right? So let us first differentiate it. if I break the mode, what will be f of x? It will be 2x minus 1 only if I break the mode. For what values it will be the same? That means the positive, x greater than equal to half. And for negative it will be, that is 1 minus 2x, sin x will remain as it is when x is less than half. Clear? So let us first find f dash x in both the cases. When we do that, so I'm just going to give you hint about it, how you are going to proceed further, then you can do it. So 2x minus 1 sin x is there for greater than half. Let us differentiate it. Differentiate this function, product rule will be used. So for x greater than 1 by 2, what is the answer? 2x minus 1 as it is. Differentiation of sin x will be cos x plus sin x as it is, right? And differentiation of 2x is 2, 1 is, it is 0. In the second one we will get 1 minus 2x as it is, sin x differentiation will be cos x plus sin x as it is, differentiation of 1 minus 2x will be minus of 2. Clear? This will be for x less than 1 by 2. Now you have to go for LHD and RHD for checking the differentiability at 1 by 2, because you see when you put 2x minus 1 as equal to 0, you get the critical point as 1 by 2. So at 1 by 2 you are going to check now. Just look carefully, what was the formula? You will be just writing limit h tending to 0 f of 1 by 2 minus h minus f of 1 by 2 divided by minus h. In the RHD you are going to put f of half plus h minus f of half divided by h, where limit h tending to 0. You have to solve these two. For less than case, the half minus h, you are going to take this case. For half plus h, you are going to take this case. Just put the values of these functions in the equation, or I say in the expression of LHD and RHD. You are going to receive LHD is not equal to RHD. Hence, we can say the set of point where it is not differentiable. At 1 by 2, it will not be differentiable. Other than this, at every value, it is going to be differentiable, because this was the critical point at which we had to check only. Now, so your answer will be R minus 1 divided by 2. Except this, it is differentiable at all the points. Clear? Let us go to question number 4. In question number 4, first part, we have been given y equals cos inverse of 1 minus x square 1 plus x square, right? And x lies between 0 and 1. So we have to find dy by dx. So to directly differentiate it, it will be difficult. You have to use cos inverse formula, and then you're going to use quotient rule. Better we do it with trigonometric substitution. Let us consider x as tan theta. Just to see what do we get. Y equals cos inverse of 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. This is the formula for cos of 2 theta. So when we solve cos inverse of cos of 2 theta, we are just left with 2 theta. So y will be equal to 2 into what will be the value of theta from here, as both the side we take tan inverse. We get tan inverse x is equal to theta. So putting this here, we get y is equal to 2 tan inverse theta. So differentiating both the side of the equation with respect to x, 2 as it is, actually it will not be tan inverse theta, it will be tan inverse x. In place of theta we are placing, right? Tan inverse x differentiation is 1 upon 1 plus x square. So this would be the answer for question number 4, first part. Let us move to the second part, which again is an important question. In the second part, as you can see, what is given? A function is given where a cubic polynomial in the numerator you can see, and at x equal to 2 we have to, this function is continuous, so we have to tell the value for k. Let us just solve this expression first. F of 2 will be k, limit x tending to 2. X tending to 2 means 2 plus and 2 minus, both of them. So just to see, x cube plus x square, you see x cube plus x square minus 16x plus 20. You have already done hit and trial method, where we used to put the values of x and see what can be the root of it. So when we do that, you will see when you put 2 here, just to see, 2 cube plus 2 square minus 16 into 2 plus 20. Let us try to solve it. 2 cube is 8, 2 to the power 2 is 4, minus 16 into 2 is 32, plus 20. So if we add all of them, 8 plus 4 will be 12, plus 20 it will be 32. So we're getting 0. So that means 2 is a root of the cubic polynomial which is given to us. We will divide with x minus 2 the complete expression that we have, which is x cube plus x square minus 16x plus 20. So when we solve it, you will get it as x minus 2. When we divide it, we get x square plus 3x minus 10. So in denominator we have x minus 2 whole square. Let us solve it further by doing the splitting the middle term method in this expression. When we do that, x minus 2 x square plus 5x minus 2x we can write, because it is giving 3x and the answer is minus of 10x square, the multiplication, divided by x minus 2 whole square. So limit x tending to 2, you just see we get x minus 2. In the first expression x is common, x plus 5. In the second expression minus 2 is common, so x plus 5 divided by x minus 2 whole square. When we do it further, we get limit x tending to 2, x minus 2 in the complete bracket, then x plus 5 is common, and then x minus 2 we are left with again. So you see in the numerator and denominator we have x minus 2 whole square that can be cancelled. So we are just left with x plus 5, where limit x tends to 2. So we can directly put the value of x, which is 2, plus 5, it is giving us 7. So the value for k will be 7. So this is how you are going to solve the questions of the test. So you're going to do the corrections and then read the summary of the chapter number 6. The first exercise is based on a rate of change of quantities using differentials. So just go through it. That is the next topic we are going to start with. Thank you.